My dreams, even though they're big, they're very attainable, and nothing can stop me if I believe in myself.
Without these challenges, you don't really exactly develop strength. I think pressure gives way to diamonds.
I had to go back and remember for myself what I wanted.
I was in a town that I didn't even know that I could play soccer or be interested in maths and sciences and coding.
I want to succeed. I want to break the cycle that it was where I was living.
People want to focus on how can I balance the scales and level the playing field for people that look like me.
I want folks to see me and be inspired to pursue their dreams in finance.
I really want to build generational wealth. I want to give to my nephews and nieces and my kids' kids.
It's not only me that I'm going to school for.
As I create more opportunities for myself, I wanted to create opportunities for others who are actually maybe similar situation, if not worse situations than me.
I'm so lucky to be building tools that are going to be financially inclusive.
It's a huge, huge issue.
Those were challenges that I wanted to be a part of helping to solve.
So this is really giving women who want to really make a difference and are passionate about what they want to do a huge chance to do this.
My name is Sophia Milton. I'm an undergrad at San Francisco State University studying business administration with a concentration in accounting. My mom and my grandma both married very young after high school, and that's what they expected from me as well. I married when I was 20, went very horribly, and after that I got the strength to go ahead and start pursuing things that were for me. When I came back to California, I did not have a car and I did not have anywhere to stay. So I wanted to come back and finish school though. So I found what I could and went to a homeless shelter. The women there were very supportive actually. They saw me with accounting books and always asked about what was I doing, what was I wanting to do. It definitely helps me to keep going in that way, and also just encouraging me that I'm on the right path. I'm in the San Francisco chapter of the National Association of Black Accountants, and they've really changed my life, taught me a lot of professional knowledge, and I appreciate, they're really the reason why I'm here today. So.
My name is Diona Zarin Santiago. I am an undergrad student at University of San Francisco, and I am majoring in accounting and minoring in computer science. So I am a 1.5 generation immigrant. I immigrated from the Philippines. I was able to undergo the financial hardships that my parents had to go through. Even though they showed me so much love and affection and I knew they were proud of me, I do still remember like our car rides to banks or loan offices for our monthly rent. Before school started, I decided I'm gonna be an accounting major just because I kind of thought about what my family went through. I had to guide them to read through their taxes and all of the official documents. Even I didn't know myself like what they meant. So I feel like I want to share that kind of impact within financial literacy, and that's also why I do want to use this scholarship to create a nonprofit and a business that will help guide others in their own financial literacy journey.
My name is Anisha Modaliar, and I will be pursuing my MBA at Stanford Graduate School of Business. I was fortunate that I really had the opportunity to see the world starting at a young age and starting with annual trips to India with my family. And I got to see a lot of really great things, being able to see the world, at this young age, but then I saw a lot of challenges, and those were challenges that I wanted to be a part of helping to solve. 15 years ago, when I was 14, I worked on launching a microlending program for a leprosy community in India. They had these incredible sort of ambitions and talents and passions, but didn't really have the resources or opportunities to pursue that. I worked on launching this microlending program in partnership with Their Money, and saw how the individuals in the community could start a sari embroidery business or a bicycle repair shop and really double their monthly incomes and repay their loans. My passion is really in thinking about how to increase access to financial inclusion. The way that I want to do that is through investing in incredible entrepreneurs that are innovating in financial inclusion and financial technology.
My name is Kareema Omar, and I'm studying at Haas, the School of Business in UC Berkeley, and I'm living here in Albany. I am from a very small town in Mexico, and I remember it was really hard to have access to education. The expectation that people have over there is you just will get married. My father was killed when I was very little, so we have to face so many challenges with my mother. After that, we have to work to help her. But I always ask her, can you please allow me to keep going to school? When I came here, I had to start since the beginning, and I decided to be a janitor. I was working during the night while my children were sleeping, and I had the opportunity to go to school in the morning while my children were at school. I feel like what it drives me is just trying to succeed. Right now I'm doing an internship at EY. I'm doing auditing. Now I just love it, and I feel that is my path.
My name is Kareema Omar. I am a graduate at the Laurie Lokey School at Mills College. I'm studying for my Master's in Business Administration. And even though in high school, I sort of had this, I knew that I wanted to do finance, but I felt let down from my community because it wasn't very common. And so I completely avoided finances in high school, but it wasn't until college when I joined the Personal Finance Club that I saw other people like me, young women of color, that were pursuing careers in finance. It comes from a history of usually depending on the men in my family to hold finances. I felt that as if I wanted to embody this leadership role of myself, of taking control of my money, because I felt a sense of liberation when I did, that no one can control this one aspect of my life. I wanted other women like me to take control of their finances. Some of my goals are establishing a scholarship similar to FWSF and help encourage other young women just like me to pursue careers in finance, to pursue finance in graduate or undergrad. Then I can help them see that while this field is scary and is very male dominated, that they just need that extra push to get into there. So by the time I graduate my MBA, I need to have done this.
My name is Sedghi, and I am a Berkeley Haas graduate student, currently my second year as an EW MBA. I was born in Iran, but I was 7 when we moved to Canada. I went on to study mechanical engineering in my undergrad in Toronto. After graduation, I pursued a career in mining, just because it was fascinating to me. Every mine is different from another, whether it's a precious metal mine or if it's like a base metal aggregate, whatever it is, wherever it's located, it's all very unique. So mining and metallurgy as a whole is expanding, it's growing, and it's kind of catching up to where we are today in the modern world. What I plan to do is just understand how we can make it a bit more efficient. It's a very slow-moving industry, mining and oil and gas, and we're trying to digitize it, we're trying to decarbonize it as much as possible, so we are bringing awareness to it, and we're doing that with one platform at a time, one application, one digital solution at a time.
My name is Hana Lee. I just finished my first year of MBA at Holy Names University. I think the biggest struggle is dealing with uncertainty that my status causes, and just being limited in every aspect of my life. Helping me out as undocumented students. I didn't have any resources or aids to pursue higher education, so my family couldn't afford for me to go to college, so I had to find a way. And in junior year of high school, I realized that athletic scholarship to a private school was the only way. After a year, I got recruited. I dedicated my undergrad year advocating for immigrant rights and women's rights with the organization called NECASEC. I also started a support group on my campus because there are not a lot of resources on campus for undocumented students, like a fear of deportation that's always in our back of our head. Hopefully, if everything works out, I want to become a forensic accountant where I hold those people who commit financial crimes accountable, kind of minimize the impact of the financial crime on marginalized people.
My name is Gabriella Mejia, and I go to the University of San Francisco, and I am studying for my MBA. I'm originally from Southern California. I am a first-generation Mexican-American. I am the first one to go to college, first one to seek a master's. I am on the product team at Visa. I am so lucky to have found an organization that believes in financial inclusion, and a lot of what we do is work around that. And so for me, that's important because my mother, she was she owns a house cleaning business, and apps and technology has just changed the way that she has done her business. Things like Venmo, Credit Karma, all that kind of stuff has really given her access and tools to really be able to do this in an organized way. My goal right now is to encourage, young Latina women like myself, first-generation Mexican Americans. I think there's a big opportunity to kind of advocate for them, to bring awareness of resources for them. And so that's something that I would like to do now, is do a little bit more of community outreach in that aspect and kind of show them that it's possible and that there's just so many resources that they can tap into.
I grew up in a city called Samsun, which is in the northeast part of Turkey. And it is also a traditional city, so where girls really don't go to school after high school and kind of pretty much study day and night in high school to do really well. That was the only way out of the city. So I ended up in one of the best universities, did well in top 1%, and right after undergrad in Istanbul, I actually managed to become the first woman, if not the person from my city, to go to Oxford with full scholarship to do my master's in development studies, which is pretty much focused on helping out developing countries to grow and achieve, I guess, some sort of economic growth. My goal has stayed as, creating opportunities. As I create more opportunities for myself, I wanted to create opportunities for others who are actually maybe not similar situation, if not worse situations than me.
Hi, my name is Amanda Irazarry. I'm attending the Stanford Graduate School of Business this fall. I'm currently zooming in from my childhood bedroom in the Bronx, but I lived in the San Francisco Bay Area for the last 4 years. I was born and raised in the South Bronx neighborhood of New York City. It's a neighborhood that is predominantly Black, Latino, predominantly under-resourced and low income. And at an early age, I actually had an opportunity to attend a fancy private school on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And that experience really gave me exposure to the kind of inequities that existed in the city. My neighborhood had little access to healthy foods, whereas at my private school, we had chefs cooking all day long. My neighborhood didn't have great physical education programs, but at this new school, I had plenty of opportunity and access. And so with that in mind, I studied global health at the University of Pennsylvania. I've always been interested in learning more about those health inequities that I witnessed at a very young age and wanting to figure out what can I do to address them. I fortunately got into the Stanford Graduate School of Business. I definitely know that I want to use my skills in finance and business in order to ultimately expand that access and opportunity for underrepresented communities.
I'm Anahi Torres. I'm an undergrad at St. Mary's College of California, and I'm majoring in business administration with a double concentration in finance and data analytics and minoring in economics. My parents immigrated here when I was 2 years old, and it was difficult for them kind of getting started in the US with nothing almost. My mom only attended elementary school actually, and my father only got to high school but wasn't able to finish. So I applied to DACA when it first came out when I was 16. And that gave me the ability to start working actually at the age of 16. And so I was able to help my family get by. And then that actually enabled me to apply to college. Without DEC, I wouldn't be able to be attending college in the first place. I'm really striving to be a financial advisor, and I think that stems from the fact that my parents haven't really been financially literate, so that really inspires me to give that education back to not only my family, but to my community, and hopefully be able to one day go back to Mexico and give a class or two on financial literacy.
My name is Fabian Reed, but you can call me Fitz, and I am at the University of Pennsylvania, Wharton School of Business, pursuing my executive MBA, and I'm zooming in from San Francisco. My parents are Jamaican immigrants who came to this country with nothing, right? And they don't have formal education, but knew that education was really important for me. And so really instilled discipline and hard work in me along the way. I studied at Pace University in New York, where I'm from, business and finance. And I decided to go to law school, kind of fell into the financial regulatory space. And then I came to the SEC in 2015. And I've been at the SEC ever since. You know, being a Black gender non-conforming woman in finance, facing, obstacles usually centered around racism, homophobia, sexism. I think that I've worked really hard to find the spaces and places where people are that are dedicated to rooting out these issues. And those are the places where I prosper. And I just say to folks that are coming up, especially women interested in finance, Black women, queer folks interested in finance, that, find those spaces. They exist. I found them, and you'll find the places that are right for you and that will really set you up for success and the ability to prosper.
I am Gökçe Güven, and I'm a rising senior in UC Berkeley. I'm studying business and cognitive science in UC Berkeley, and I'm calling in from New York right now. I'm originally from Turkey, and that's where I was raised before college. I was in a town that I didn't even know that I could play soccer or be interested in maths and sciences and coding, and because these were the norms where the areas were male dominated, so I was never incentivized. That was kind of a switch on moment for me to realize the gender cultural differences in Turkey, and I was actually a part of that culture too. And then realizing these patterns, I started a nonprofit called Girls on the Field. The mission is to empower young girls to soccer and STEM so that they can experience male-dominated areas in a prejudice-free environment. And in the future, I want to use my learnings and experiences to build technologies and products that are accessible to underserved communities and countries.